Chris, welcome back. I'm glad to see you again this week. How did things go over this past week with your homework that I had given you?
It was praising.
Yep. So kind of attending to the times when Alex was playing independently by himself while you were busy doing something.
Yeah, absolutely. It went pretty well after I got used to it. At first I thought I should wait maybe 25, 30, 35 minutes before I praised Alex, because that's how long I would like to have, to do the dishes or to work on my computer. But a lot of times Alex would come to me after 10 or 15 minutes, and
Okay.
so I was kind of stubborn at first. I wanted to try to make him hold out, but then I realized that this wasn't good for him. It wasn't good for me either. So maybe I should come to him a little bit earlier and praise him even after 10 minutes. So we did that a couple times.
Okay, good. And so you kind of realized that maybe waiting so long kind of set him up for failure.
Yeah, I mean,
Almost.
he wasn't going to do that, so it wasn't good for either of us.
Okay, good. That's a really good thing to recognize, that maybe by being stubborn or waiting so long, it's not good for Alex, and it's not good for you either, because you're not able to accomplish the task that you would like to accomplish.
Yeah.
So what were you able to do then? How did you praise him during those shorter intervals?
Well, one time I just said, "Oh, thanks, Alex, for letting Dad work on this. Let me work." So I tried to make that connection. But then another time I asked him what he was doing, and he was just playing with his car. So I asked him, what he was doing with his cars and if he was having fun. And I said it looked like a lot of fun. Trying to relate to him a little bit.
Good.
And it seemed to work. I guess I don't know yet.
Yeah. Did you notice kind of throughout the week that the intervals got a little longer? I know you said you kind of had to backtrack a little bit towards the end of the week. Did you notice any change?
Well, I kept it pretty consistent, about 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't try to push it longer than that because I didn't want to have a lot of failures. Maybe I should try it more next time.
Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of maybe something that we'll build on a little bit today, and we're going to keep up for this following week, attending 2 times when he is playing independently, and keep reinforcing that, because we want to keep that up. So maybe that's something you could also try along with the homework for this week, is increasing those intervals and seeing if he's able to play independently for longer amounts of time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so this week what we're going to work on is a technique that can help kind of complement the attending to independent play, because I know we had talked about within the technique we worked on last week, that can really reinforcing when he's playing independently can help improve compliance, and it can help stop him from interfering when you're working and doing your own thing. So the technique we're going to work on today will help that and will really increase that compliance, because it's adding another reinforcer. So we're going to work on implementing what's called a poker chip, or a token economy is kind of the broader term that's generally used.
Okay.
And this is going to involve using poker chips as rewards for good behaviors.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk more in depth about this, but you and he are going to come up with a list of behaviors that you would like to see, chores that you would like him to do, things, good behaviors that you would like to see from him, and you're going to come up with a list of rewards that he can work for.
Okay.
And you're going to be implementing poker chips as rewards for the good behavior that he can use to cash in for these big reinforcers that we'll make a list of.
Okay. And so we come to these together?
Yep. So, and we'll go through step by step how this is going to look.
Okay.
But that's just kind of general overview of what we're going to do during this session. So now, these special reward programs, the poker chips, the token economy, they're really important for kids with ADHD, kids like Alex, because as we talked about way back in the beginning, these kids a lot of times don't have the ability to regulate their behavior on their own. Remember, we talked about that. Also, these kids, maybe with a kid who doesn't have ADHD, they can respond to social praise and that kind of thing, and that's enough a lot of times. Whereas Alex and other children like him, often praises just isn't enough. It's not that there's something wrong with him necessarily. That's not the way his brain works.
Yeah.
And so he just needs this kind of outside reinforcers, this external reinforcer, such as a poker chip and a reward system, that kind of gives him the motivation to do these good behaviors.
Okay.
So that's kind of a little bit of the background on why we're doing this in the first place. Some of the advantages of using poker chips specifically for this reward system we're going to set up Number one, poker chips are really cheap. They're easy to get a hold of. You can buy big packs of them, that kind of thing. It also allows you to kind of help manage your child's behavior by providing a very tangible object. You're going to be giving him poker chips, which he can see, he can hold, he can feel. He's going to be getting those immediately following a good behavior. So it's a very tangible reward, and he can see kind of direct correlation between that good behavior and the reward that he's going to be getting. These systems are also highly convenient. You can take the poker chips with you anywhere. So this isn't something that can only be implemented at home. You can take this system with you if you go to grandma's house, if you're at the store, just about anywhere you can go, you can take this system with you and utilize it. There. And it also is a very fair way to manage your child's behavior. He's going to see, kind of as we set this up, that his behavior gets directly rewarded, much as, say, you go to work and you get compensated for your time at work, you get paid for work. Well, Alex is going to be getting paid for his good behavior and for doing his daily tasks that he needs to do. So it's a fair way of compensating and rewarding him for his behavior. Right? He's going to get these privileges that we're going to set in place with the poker chips. Token systems like this often result in increased parental attention to good behaviors. I know we had talked last week about attending to times when he's playing independently and he's doing these things, he's not bothering you, he's being compliant. Well, if you're giving out poker chips for these good behaviors, it also makes you really realize when he is doing these things. There might be little things that kind of slip your attention every once in a while in the past, but now you're going to be handing out poker chips for these things. You're going to be really aware of when he's doing good. Additionally, he's going to be interested in getting poker chips and earning them, so he's going to be pointing out to you when he's doing good, when his behaviors are improving. So you guys are both going to be very aware of his behavior and what's going on. So that can be a really good thing for both of you, and it can help your relationship too. So now let's talk about kind of step by step how to implement this program. I have this handout for you, and if you want to kind of read along as I go through this, we'll kind of talk about step by step, and at any time feel free to ask any questions. If you need me to talk more in depth about something, or you didn't quite understand, just feel free to jump in at any time.
Absolutely.
So this system that we're going to use, as you can see at the top here, is intended for kids between the ages 4 and 8. So since Alex is 6, this is a perfect system for him to use the poker chips. And it doesn't have to be poker chips. I use that term, but actually it can be any kind of small token or something that comes in a lot. You want to avoid using money. That tends to get confusing for kids if you're using actual money or coins, but it can be things like beans. It could be cards, like a deck of cards, anything that comes in the pack of quite a bit of them in there that's cheap and easy to use, that's smaller and easy to handle.
I think
and
you
also
would probably like to hold them and to play with them. I think you would like collecting them.
Okay, so the poker chips you
I think that would be good.
Okay, and I actually have a pack of poker chips back in my office, so I can hand that to you on the way out the door, just remind me.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, so that's kind of the first step, is to decide what type of chip. And so we'll go ahead and use the poker chips.